Hello there.
And today we're going to be ranking the MCU movies from the worst to the best, and on this tier list right here. And our tiers today are worst, bad, meh, good, great, and top tier. And we're going to start off with Ant-Man and the Wasp. Now, I think this is a good movie. It's a nice, fun, simple MacGuffin story. It doesn't have very high stakes and not very low stakes. It's not trying to be the best movie. But I like the movie. I don't see much wrong with it, but I don't see a lot of good in it. So I'm going to put it in good because it's just entertaining mostly. Okay, now we're up with the first Ant-Man. I feel like it's kind of along the same lines, but I am going to put it under Ant-Man and the Wasp. This is only because I feel like that it's a bit repetitive of the origin story from the first Iron Man. Next up, we got Avengers Age of Ultron. Now, I do like this movie. I definitely don't think it's as good as the first Avengers or any of the other ones, or any of the other Avengers movies, but I do like it. So I'm going to put it in good, and I'm going to put it above Ant-Man and the Wasp. Okay, our first top tier movie. Spoiler alert, this is not moving at all. It will always be at the top. Avengers Infinity War, right behind it. Okay, Black Panther. It's kind of tricky one for me. I'm either going to put it at the back of great or at the top of good. But I do think it's great because Killmonger is one of the best villains in the entire MCU. So I'm going to put it in the great category. Okay, we're doing our first Phase 4 movie, Black Widow. And I do like this movie. I know it gets a bit too much hate, but I feel like it's good, but not great. So I'm going to put it behind Ant-Man and the Wasp, but above the first Ant-Man movie. Because I really liked the first half, but the last the last act of the movie, the third act, kind of was messy and was all over the place. Okay, we're going on Civil War now. I'm going to put it at the top of great right now. And I do not think it is moving. It's a great movie. I just don't think it's to the same level as these top tier movies right here. Okay, Captain America, the First Avenger. Oh, I just realized that they're all in order. Captain America, the First Avenger. I'm gonna put it in good right here because a lot of the stuff I found to be kind of dull in the movie. Like Red Skull wasn't a great villain, and that's what took up half the movie. But most of it, I loved the part about Steve becoming Captain America. So I'm gonna put it above Ant-Man and the Wasp, but just under Age of Ultron. Okay, next up we got Captain America: The Winter Soldier. I think I'm gonna have to put this one in great, but behind Black Panther. This is easily the most overrated MCU movie. People are saying it's the best. I don't think it's the best, but I do think it is a pretty great movie. Captain Marvel. Well, no explanation needed. In my opinion, the only fun part about that movie is getting to see Nick Fury is younger and the Goose the Cat memes. Doctor Strange. I really enjoyed this movie. I do like it a lot. It's just the villain is pretty bad. I don't really like the villains, and some of the story is a bit junky, but I'm going to put it at the top of good. Okay, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I definitely loved this movie. I liked it way more than most people did. This is kind of a hot take, but I'm going to put it right. I love this movie, but I'm not sure if I'd put it above Black Panther. I'm going to put it right here because I think this is a great movie. I understand why a lot of you might not like it very much, but I do understand that. I understand your issues with it, but I didn't agree with those issues that people have had. Okay, Eternals. I am another person that really likes this movie. I'm going to put it probably right here. I think it's a really fun well, no, it's not really a fun movie. My only problem is some of it can be a bit boring, but I think it's a great movie. The CGI is probably the best we've seen in the entire MCU, and I'm excited to see what they'll do in the future with them. Okay, Guardians of the Galaxy. Definitely a top tier movie. This is the movie I rewatched the most recently for this list. I loved it. I love it I like it a little bit more each time I see it, but I definitely think it's a top tier movie. Okay, now Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I'm gonna put it in great. Well, I'm going to put it under Winter Soldier. While I do enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 more than Winter Soldier, I just think Winter Soldier has a bit of a better story than it. Okay, the first Iron Man movie. I'm gonna put it. It's definitely a great movie. Movie that started a whole franchise. I'm gonna put it right here. I think it's a really good movie about just Tony Stark's redemption, and it doesn't have to deal with like the rest of the MCU, like with anything. It's just a small scale journey about someone's redemption and becoming a hero. Okay. Now that I think about it, I'm gonna move this movie back a bit. Black Panther. Uh, no, I'm gonna keep it where it is. Okay, Iron Man 2. I always mixed on this one. Depends on the mood I'm in when I watch it. I always think of like, oh, it's good or it's meh. But with my most recent rewatch, I found a lot of problems with it, so I'm gonna end up putting it in meh. Which there were a ton of problems behind the scenes with this movie. Like there was a limit to how long they needed to make it, so there were a lot of troubles behind the scenes. Iron Man 3. I do enjoy this movie a lot. I think it's good, but I feel like the Mandarin would have been a better villain than Killian. But sadly, they made that stupid twist thing that's kind of gone infamous as like one of the worst Marvel mistakes. But I do think that I like the idea of a Mandarin that's like a terrorist. Okay, speaking of the Mandarin, Shang-Chi. I'm gonna have to put this one right above um I'm gonna have to put this above Eternals. I do really like this movie, but I think it's a bit overrated. Yeah, I like the Mandarin in this movie and I like all the characters. I just feel like it's way too overrated of a movie. Okay, now we got Spider-Man Far From Home. I'm gonna put this one in the good tier as well. I'm gonna put it above First Avenger, but behind it. Actually, I'm gonna put it above ShangChi. I think this is a really good MCU movie, but the reason I was thinking about putting it back is because it's not the best Spider-Man movie, but I feel like it's a really good MCU movie. It just doesn't really feel like a Spider-Man movie. Okay, Spider-Man Homecoming. Now this feels like an MCU movie and a Spider-Man movie, and it's probably the most one of the most rewatchable MCU movies. So I'm gonna put it in great. Vulture is a great villain. I love the arc that they put Peter on in this movie, and it's just really fun and enjoyable. So I'm gonna put it right above Black Panther. Okay, Spider-Man No Way Home. Definitely a top tier movie. It's such a nostalgic movie, and it's so good getting to see all those characters return. So I'm gonna put it under Infinity War, but above Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, the first Avengers movie. That's another top tier movie. I love this movie. I think it's great. Just sometimes it can get a little bit dull. Like we didn't get like almost any Hawkeye screen time to get to know his character a bit. So that's like my only complaint with it. Okay, the Incredible Hulk. I like this movie. I feel like people should give this movie more credit than it is getting, but I do think it is in the meh category, but I would put it above Iron Man 2. I think it's better than Iron Man 2. I think Edward Norton did a pretty good job as Hulk, And I also thought the whole concept about the military going after Hulk was really good. Okay, the first Thor movie. Gonna put it right above Black Widow. I really like this movie. It's very underrated. Um there's not much to say. I just feel like the differences between the two different themes of the movie definitely show. Okay, we got Thor the Dark World. Easily the worst movie in the MCU. No explanation needed. Uh yeah, I know a lot of people might say that Captain Marvel is worse. I just feel like this has more problems with it, and Loki was fun. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about putting it above Captain Marvel. But I don't think anything should go in the worst category because none of it I like fully hate. So I'm just gonna delete that row. Okay, Thor Ragnarok, top tier. I love this movie. I'm gonna actually put it above the first Avengers movie. I think it's a really good Thor movie, and yeah, I just have a lot of fun with it. It has a great story, fun villains, fun characters, just a great movie. Now that I'm thinking about it, I want to put it above Guardians. Yeah, I'm gonna put it right above Guardians. Okay, Thor: Love and Thunder. Now, I know people are mostly loving the movie or they're hating it. I'm more of I'm gonna put it in the good category. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. I think it's a good movie. I'm gonna put it right above Far From Home. I know this might be a bit of a controversial opinion, but I had a lot of fun with this movie. I loved Gore the God Butcher as a villain. I loved his story in the movie. Um, I loved the arc they chose for Thor, even though they kind of have repeated it. I feel like they did a good job with it in this movie. And also, I liked Jane's arc throughout the movie as well. But I did feel like Zeus and some of the other gods were a bit wasted. Okay, so that's going to be my ranking of all the MCU movies on a tier list. I'll see you in another video, and peace.